So another round of layoffs are about to hit Warner Media. Talked about this over the summer because AT&T pretty much shed a lot of weight off of its resources, and DC Comics notably really took a massive hit, and they're still downsizing that brand. A lot of comics were canceled, like Teen Titans, Supergirl, Batgirl. A lot of the niche characters have kind of just been written off. They're still going to be in other people's books for sure, but a lot of the smaller titles, even some titles that sell pretty decently, like Suicide Squad and so on and so on, like a lot of those books got canceled, and I don't think they're going to bring them back. That's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. But there's more jobs that are about to get shed at Warner Media. They really are just taking the axe to everything. This has a lot to do with that activist hedge fund group, Elliott Management. You can tell that they're pushing them to just cut. And they're going to keep pushing them to do this. They're talking about a fire sale. They're trying to get rid of their direct TV stuff. And they're going to unload it really cheap. That's revenue they're going to lose, by the way. But they're trying to go all in with HBO Max. But the interesting thing, though, is if HBO Max fails, and it could, because they note in here, like at the beginning, they managed to bring in 4.4 million people. But ever since then, it just hasn't really blown up like they thought it would. And I do think that HBO Max will end up being pretty good. They have so much content over at Warner, especially with HBO stuff. I think eventually it'll be a pretty good service on par with Netflix, because HBO makes a lot of original content that's usually historically pretty good. But we'll see what happens. I saw this, and I wonder what's going on with AT&T and DC Comics. I wonder if they're going to downsize that brand even more. I guess we'll see what happens. But last time they really cut deep with the personnel over at DC Comics. And now I wonder if they're going to cut deep on them again. Everyone's laying people off. Disney, Viacom, CBS, nobody is immune to the stuff that's going on right now. So I don't know what's going to happen with Warner. Disney is losing money. Warner's stock is not good. All the news that comes out for them is bad financial stuff. You can see here it's at $28 for AT&T stock. Look how low it is right now. It's just been bad for them in general for the past few months. I mean, you can see it right here. They were at $30 back in April. The highest point is they were up to 32 or 33 in June, and now they're down to 28. So they've kind of hung around that $30 range. But the point of what Elliott Management wants to do is they want to get this stock up as high as they can get it, and then they're going to unload and bail. And that kind of ends up leaving AT&T in a worse spot than they were before. But they don't really care. This is how this works with companies like Elliott Management. And at the end of the day, it's going to leave them in a worse position. I don't know about the future of AT&T, I can tell you that. But layoffs are hitting everybody. I wonder what's going to happen with DC Comics. Is DC Comics going to get hit harder again? We'll see. It's an interesting question because last time, you know what happened. So I wonder if more people are going to get hurt again. So we'll see what happens. More game journalists losing their jobs as well over at CNET Media Group. Says that, a lot of people are being laid off from GameSpot. And not just the Western GameSpot. Okay, I want to not stop. I want to be clear, not just the people in the West, but they're shutting down the entire Australian division. I saw this similarly with Kotaku. They shut down their English, I think it was the UK version of Kotaku shut down. Well, now you have GameSpot, Australia shutting down. And it's probably going to keep, you're going to see a lot of journalists lose their jobs because nobody really cares about going to their sites for news anymore. We talked about this time and time again. I don't know how people afford to pay them $55K a year starting. I really don't. But a lot of people in these tweets that used to work for GameSpot confirming, look, we're out of a job. I loved my time at GameSpot. So I don't know. They've put themselves in this predicament by being woke activists for the past, 7, 8 years. So, as their ad revenue dwindled down for taking those stances, I mean, these people can only really, at the end of the day, blame themselves. Anyway, like I said, the big story here, Warner Media is thinning again. I am curious to what happens. I hear even CNN is about to get hit with the chopping block, and they certainly have done that to themselves. I'm not saying they're getting rid of CNN. I'm saying that they're going to fire a lot of people there. I read that in a different report. But the thing I'm interested in, as always, is what's going to happen to DC Comics. I don't know. I do know that games journalists are going to be looking for a lot of work, though. So it should be a crazy couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you would, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.